evening. Welcome to Would I Lie to You, the show with tall tales and tantalising truths. On David Mitchell's team tonight, a TV presenter whose knowledge of cars is second only to my own. My personal favourite is a red one. It's Richard Hammond. And a comedian who once did a TV show for Channel 4 where he wrestled an alligator. Who says Sky TV has all the best sports? It's Sean Locke. And over on Lee Mack's team tonight, someone who has helped transform British tennis and helped ruin British dancing. It's Judy Murray. And a South African comedian who recently performed on the Royal Variety Show. 90 minutes of the finest entertainment crammed into 7.5 hours. It's Trevor Noah. So, let's begin with round one, Home Truths, where our panellists read out a statement from the card in front of them. Now, to make things harder, they've never seen the card before, they've no idea what they'll be faced with, and it's up to the opposing team to sort the fact from the fiction. Trevor, you're first up tonight.
I used to call strangers on the telephone and convince them that they were talking to Nelson Mandela.
David's team.
Why?
Because everyone loves Nelson Mandela.
I mean, how often did Nelson Mandela cold call people?
Were you selling anything as Nelson Mandela?
No, just...
He wasn't pretending to be Nelson Mandela during his telesales period.
Right. How did you start the conversation? So if I've answered the phone... Hello?
Hello, Richard.
What will you say next?
How are you, Richard? I wanted to thank you for fighting against bad things.
You haven't seen Top Gear, have you?
Who did you target?
Anybody. I just dialed numbers on the phone.
Well, random numbers?
Yeah, like it was just, you know...
What was your hit rate on that for people who believed it was Nelson Mandela and didn't?
100%.
Really?
Everyone, how many did you try? Is it just Richard now?
Yeah, it was fairly convincing.
Do you ever let the people know at the end? You go, it's not Nelson Mandela.
No, because that would crush them.
How would you know when to end the conversation as Nelson Mandela with this unsuspecting, gullible, hopefully stranger?
Well, they would think I'm Nelson Mandela, and then initially it's wow, and then I guess the next thing becomes why are you calling? And then afterwards, then they start asking questions. Oh, what are you up to? And then you go, no.
And what are you wearing? You're not wearing that shirt again, are you, Nelson? Sick of that shirt.
But what if you'd called an apartheid-friendly white Afrikaner? Feel the tension in the room.
Just check, Rob, have you done light entertainment before?
You're calling me.
Okay.
Yes?
Hello, who am I speaking to?
You're talking to Tobias Cruelty. This is some of my best work.
We're just glad it's someone else other than Ronnie Corbett for a change.
Who is this that is talking to me?
This is Nelson Mandela.
What? Where are you?
I'm free.
Are you sure you're not Morgan Freeman?
That movie hasn't come out yet.
Well, do you know what? I've always been pro-apartheid, but this frank exchange of views with you has really turned me the other way. I wish you all the very best.
And to you.
So what do you think? Could this be true?
I think it's true.
You think it's true?
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's true as well, yeah.
So you're saying true?
We're saying true.
Saying
We're
true.
definitely saying
all
true.
right.
Yeah.
Trevor, truth or lie?
True.
Yes, it's true. Trevor did used to call people and pretend to be Nelson Mandela. Sean Locke, you're next.
While travelling around Europe, my friend and I came up with a scheme to make money on the beach.
Please, team.
What was it?
It was jewellery. We used to sell jewellery.
What kind of jewellery was it?
It was earrings.
And where did you get the earrings from?
To be perfectly honest, we'd make them.
Oh, it's homemade jewellery. Here we go.
And where was the beach?
Where was the beach? It's right next to the sea. It was in Greece.
What was it about being on that beach? You thought, earrings?
I couldn't make donuts.
And what did you make the earrings out of?
Well, I didn't make them. My friend made them.
And what do you make them out of?
Beads.
Now, this friend, Sean, what was his name?
Spud.
Spud.
Spud. Spud.
Yeah.
Was his name.
Spud the jeweller. But my job was to sell them.
Oh, he made
So you're
them.
the salesman. So give us a bit of pad. Imagine David he's on the beach in his thong, he's relaxing. Finally, he can be himself, OK? And you come along and you look at his ears, they're unadorned, you think, there's an opportunity. Off you go.
Well, the first thing, if he's got a thong on, I'd ask him to turn over. You can roll onto your back, please. And would you like me to rub a bit of cream into that area, because I don't think that's ever seen the sunshine. He wasn't the target market, isn't...
Well, Richard likes a bit of jewellery. You like a
like
bit of
an
jewellery
earring.
around the neck, so sell them to Richard.
Are you having a nice time?
Yeah, I'm having a lovely time.
Do you want to buy some earrings?
Not really, no.
What's
Right,
wrong
then.
with me?
All right.
Turned over and everything.
Then I do this. Spud! Help!
What was Spud's real name?
Keith.
Why did you call him Spud? He always had a jacket on? What?
What are you thinking?
Judy, do we think that's truth or a lie?
I think it's a lie.
You're
I
not...
can't see him selling beaded earrings on a beach.
Would you buy anything from him?
No, nothing.
You know what I'm going to go? I think Judy's right.
You think it's a lie?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the team.
You're going to say lie. Sean, truth or lie?
True.
Yes, it's true. Sean did used to sell earrings on the beach. Our next round is called This Is My, where we bring on a mystery guest who has a close connection to one of our panellists. Now, this week, each of David's team will claim it's them that has the genuine connection to the guest. It's up to Lee's team to spot who's telling the truth. So, please welcome this week's special guest, Ben. So, Richard, what is Ben to you?
This is Ben, and I once convinced him that he'd been spooked by a ghost in a country house.
Sean, how do you know Ben?
Well, this is Ben, and I had to talk to him for over an hour to keep him calm when he got trapped in a portaloo.
David, what's your relationship with Ben?
This is Ben, and he very recently took me to my first ever football match. and was disappointed that I nodded off for a bit in the second half.
Lee's team, where do you want to start?
Well, first of all, Sean, how was he trapped in a portaloo?
Well, it was the lock wouldn't work, wouldn't open.
Why was it such a tense situation that you had to calm him down? Why is he panicking?
Because Ben, and I'm sure you'll notice that. I mean, you just have to look at him to know he suffers from a lot of anxieties. I mean, he looks so comfortable here, doesn't he? Just so relaxed under all these lights. He's not. Inside, he's...
Where was the portaloo?
on a campsite.
Had you met him before?
I'd seen him on the campsite.
And he'd nodded. Hello. All
Yeah.
right.
Well, you know what it's like. You walk across a campsite and you've got a toilet roll in your hand. Everyone knows, you know, where you're going. They sort of smile at you, so where you... It's like you've all
all
exposed.
been there.
We've all been there, and you're walking across and you've got a toilet roll and people go, all right, you go... And they go, what again? And then they've got that what again look without saying it.
So did you go to use the portaloo?
No, I was going out of the campsite.
And you heard... What did you hear?
Well, someone sort of struggling with the mechanism.
Oh, no shouting at this point.
If someone, you know, it's a matter of politeness. If someone's making sort of struggling noises in a portaloo, you don't think you can do much to help. I like to think, and even if I could, I don't really want to get involved in that problem. So as I was walking out, I thought, it looks like it was wobbling slightly. And I went back, I said, are you all right? And he went, no, I'm not.
And you talked to him for, you said, an hour?
Yes, yeah, we just...
Well, I'm curious to know what you filled an hour with.
Well, I just chatted about how his camping weekend was going.
Well, not very well. Yeah.
So you're in the thing with him, and eventually what happened? What was the outcome?
Yeah, how did he get out?
The guy came, the campsite manager.
And then when he came out, you obviously the first time you'd seen each other.
Yeah.
And how was that? Did you fall in love?
I'll be honest with you, I think he was a bit disappointed. It was like a blind date.
Now, who else would you like to quiz, Lee?
Richard, could you remind us again, please, of your...
I once persuaded Ben that he'd been spooked by a ghost in a country house.
And what was the story? How did you convince him?
Well, he was in a separate room, and I saw, like, a stool and realised, hang on, I can hit the rafters, knowing where he was. That'll sound like footsteps coming towards him. So I did, and he believed it was a ghost.
Yeah, no, what were you doing in this house? Is this just like an empty house where people are...
No, we worked together in radio.
Yeah.
And we were doing a ghost hunt.
Why was Ben in the room by himself?
Because he just wanted to be brave and go off, and he'd sat in the scariest, supposedly most haunted room in the house, which happened to be directly above where I was in the hall.
And how high were the ceilings in the room that you were in?
But they're fairly high, not massively high.
Well, how high?
If you think of me plus a chair, about that high.
That's a very low ceiling.
Oh, give up!
No, it is!
Really?
Listen,
Cheap shot.
I am 6 foot.
All right.
I'm just
we got
saying,
it.
I'm 6 foot and it's great.
Is it?
How did Ben react when you were making these noises?
Well-
Did it spook him?
Yeah. He ran straight out through the door, which would have been running through where the ghost was.
Oh,
I
so
see,
he properly
right.
panicked.
Oh, God, absolutely terrified.
He was
Well,
terrified.
I know that about Ben. He does get very, very spooked. Anything like that freaks him right
Thank
out.
goodness he could open the lock on that door,
Yes.
you know. When did he find out that it had all been a wheeze?
I told him about 10 years later.
10 years?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You've let him live with this trauma for 10 years?
No, look at it this way, and I explained it to him like this at the time, because he was quite cross, because you would be. And I said, no, listen, you've dined out on that story. I know you have. You'd have told people at dinner parties, oh, the most haunted house.
Like people saying Nelson Mandela once rang me up.
Yeah.
David, remind us again, please.
This is Ben, and he took me to my first ever football match, and then was disappointed when I dozed off for a bit in the second half.
When was this?
This was last season.
Oh, he's already got all the words, hasn't he? He has been training for this one. Last season.
Yeah.
What was the match?
It was association football. And it was between Tottenham Hotspur and Hull.
And who won?
Tottenham Hotspur.
How do you know?
I went to it.
And where was it played? In Tottenham or at Hull?
In Tottenham.
Do you remember the name of the ground?
What if I could? Would that make this definitely true?
I'm not willing to say how I feel about that.
Okay. I'm not willing to say how I feel about anything, but that's just because I'm British. Yes, it was at White Hart Lane. Thank you. Yes, I do have a research team.
Do you remember the colour of the kits?
Let's say one team was in white and the other team wasn't.
What colour was the goalkeeper wearing?
Green. All over, with a little tricorn hat. As I recall.
So, how do you know Ben?
He was at school with me.
OK, and if you don't like football, why would you have gone?
I'm an idiot. I mean, no, I like to... no, I was about to say I like to experience new things. No, I don't. But occasionally I get bullied into experiencing new things under peer pressure. He said, you're always slagging off football. Why don't you come along and the atmosphere will be great, you might quite like it, and then maybe, just maybe, you'll shut up for a bit.
Who are you there to support?
Well, vaguely. He's a Spurs fan. That's the shortening.
Nice.
And so I was broadly, you know, hoping his team would win.
Do you remember the score?
I think there was one goal.
Well,
To the Tottenham Hotspurs?
Exactly, and it was on the basis of that that the victory was declared to be theirs.
Back to you in the studio.
All right, we need an answer. So, Lee's team. Is Ben Richard's frightened friend, Sean's Portaloo pal, or David's matchday mate?
I don't see Sean chatting to somebody trapped in a Portaloo. He doesn't strike me
No.
without laughing. Like,
Yeah,
you don't...
it's true, isn't it? That is a very good point. I've known Sean long enough to know he would be going, oh, come on, everyone, let's push it over.
Richard and the roof is where he lost me. Just the height.
Yeah,
That's
the height is too high for you.
No, just also like to exert enough force to hear it through the roof with your like you maybe you would have barely touched the but then your height. When we looked, no.
I think they're saying that in a stately home, any person, however tall, plus a stool, they're doubted. It's not just you.
Oh, no,
it's just him.
He said that like he was a Spanish ambassador and he was worried about being insulted. I think, Ambassador, it's any person. It's nothing to do with your height, sir.
No, not Richard.
What about David in the football?
Well, it is possible that he would have a friend, I suppose.
So what are you going to say?
I suppose we're left with David, are we?
Yeah.
OK.
You think it's David? Right, Ben, would you please reveal your true identity?
My name is Ben, and Richard spooked me by pretending to be a ghost in a country house.
Really sorry, mate. Really sorry about that. Thank you very much, Ben. Which brings us to our final round, quickfire lies, and we start with... It's Lee.
One Saturday morning, I lay on my back in the garden and pretended I'd fallen off a ladder so that I could get out of a family trip to IKEA.
David's team.
What had you been supposedly doing on the ladder to fall off it?
So, my wife said we're going to IKEA, and then you should be upset if I said no. So I said, yeah, no problems. Can we go in about an hour? She went, yeah, no problems. Why? And I said, because I've got to do something in the garden.
Yeah, what
did
were
you
you
say?
doing?
Trimming
the tree.
So you said, OK, we can go to IKEA in an hour. I've just got to go and trim the tree.
I didn't say I'm going to trim the tree, obviously. I said I've just got something to do in the garden.
Why is it so urgent that this tree needed to be trimmed?
You're not following this story, are you, Sean? I didn't need to trim the tree.
Yeah, but surely wouldn't she go, we'll do it later?
Because it was a casual conversation. We're going to IKEA. Can we go in about an hour? I've just got to do something in the garden. She went, yeah, fine. And that was it. Right. We don't live in a relationship where I go, can we go to IKEA? I go, can we go now? I'm doing something in the garden. She doesn't sit me down, put a spotlight on me, and go, just a thing in the garden.
OK.
But you did topiary last week!
So you say you've got to do something in the garden. She says, fine. So you walk out into the garden.
Yes. Go
Explain
to the shed.
how you set the scene.
I go to the shed, right?
Yeah.
I pick my tool wisely because I want to make sure that when I've fallen with it, that it looks dramatic.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So what did you pick?
Secateurs, nothing. Those big giant ones. You know which one I mean? They look like those old-fashioned bull workers, but they've got a pair of scissors at the end.
With the telescopic handles.
That's ones. I still needed a ladder. They're not going to get me on that.
Do you climb to the top of this ladder?
I don't need to, do I? There's no trimming to be done. I mean, are you fucking... Anyone else? There's no... I'm not Robert De Niro. I'm not Method. I didn't have to go... I must become the tree trimmer.
Your wife must think you're pretty bad at it if you can go out and presumably instantly fall
I
off the
didn't
ladder.
say I fell off instant. I know she's going off to do something
Well,
else.
they're not
She
noticed.
says, I'm going to the shops then. So I know she's out. So I position
So
everything.
she says in advance of going to this shop, she's going to the shop.
No, it's an expression that people say, I'm just popping to the shops. They don't go, I pop into the
No, it's
individual
not
shop.
an expression. It means going to the shop. Well, is it a euphemism in your house for what? Having a poo.
I pop into the shop.
Is it
You're
a
going to
euphemism?
get me on one letter. All right, I pop into the shop.
She said she was popping to the shop now. Shop singular in advance of your trip to the shop.
She might have said shop. It's one letter. Give me a break. It's series 9. She may have said shop.
Can I ask a
Or
question?
shops. I'm just popping out. In fact, she said out. I'm popping out.
She's popping.
She was popping out.
So. Okay, so she has left the house.
She's left the house.
So
She's
you
gone
know
to
you've
the
got.
shop. To buy a curly whirly or curly whirlies. I'm not sure. She's gone out. I know she's going to be gone enough time for me to get a ladder, lie it on its side, do the second turn, and lie there in a position that I would describe as
Can I ask
injured.
this question? Why didn't you want to go to IKEA?
I think I go to IKEA to get out of trimming a tree.
Didn't need to trim the tree.
So your wife comes back from the shop before going to the shop,
Yeah.
for whatever reason.
And we find that, weirdly, that the different shops sell different things.
Okay.
So I have tried the old, when she goes, I'm just going to buy some potatoes, I've gone, why don't we wait till we're in IKEA? She said, no, you can't buy. It turns out that different shops sell different things.
So your wife comes back from the potato shop to
No, it's not
find
called the potato shop.
you've finished trimming the tree and fallen off a ladder.
Yes.
How much of the tree did you get done?
Did you claim specific injuries that you'd done? When you
Yes.
said, oh, I've just generally hurt us, what had you done? What did you say it hurt?
I went, ah, my leg. She went, what's up with it? I said, I don't know, but I can't go to IKEA. And I claim to have injured my coccyx.
How long had she been gone?
It was probably 4 or 5 days this time. I'd say probably about 15 to 20 minutes.
Did she still go to IKEA?
Yeah, no, what did she do then? You're there in agony.
She came to help me.
She helped you up.
She helped me up. She tried to get me stood up. I held the base of my back. Is that what the coccyx is?
Yeah.
I held the base of my back.
Yeah.
And she said, you better come inside and sit yourself down. I said, but what about the trip to IKEA? I feel I've let you down. She said, no, that was years ago. I think the bit where I was pushing it, when I shouted, love, can you put that ladder away? I don't want it to go rusty. I might need that in a couple of weeks when we go to Boots.
So what do you think, David? Is this true?
What do you think?
I think it's a lie.
I just think you'd save that for something a bit more...
You think it's a waste?
Well, yeah, it's a waste of an opportunity to get out something.
I love
Like
the fact that
a
your
family
dad's-
Christmas, you could get out of a whole Christmas.
So what are you going to say?
I think we think it's a lie.
You're saying it's a lie. Lee, truth or lie?
It's a lie.
It's a lie. Lee didn't pretend he'd fallen off a ladder to get out of a family trip to IKEA. Next. It's Trevor.
I used to be in a South African boy band, but we split up after 3 of us were kicked by a horse on a video shoot.
David's team.
Why was there a horse in the video?
Because that's what you do in like boy band videos. You have a horse.
Sing to a horse.
Well, you don't sing to the horse. The horse is there.
Why a horse?
Because ladies, look
Where's
at
the
me.
horse
I'm
in
on
the
a
band?
horse.
You were on the horse.
No, but that's the like.
You weren't on the horse.
we
You were
can't-
next to the
we
horse.
couldn't all get on the horse because there's 4 of us.
Were any of you on the horse?
You had 4. You had one horse between 4 of you.
What was the song?
What was the song?
Yeah.
I Love You, Baby.
The song was called "I Love You, Baby."
Yes.
What are the lyrics?
We're not
of I
singing
Love
to
You,
the-
Baby.
Well, it's a Xhosa song, Xhosa and Zulu, so I mean, it's called I Love You, Baby. That's a translation into English.
Right.
Give us a taste of it. How does it go?
What, the song?
Yes, the
You
song.
want me to sing it on...
Yes, I want you
yeah.
to sing it.
Well, I'll sing my part. I can't sing the whole...
Well, imagine now, I'm the horse, right? Here I am, ready?
Sing to the horse.
Sing to the horse.
Do Tanda, baby. Giyaguthanda.
This wasn't a big band, was it?
This is my part. I'm singing my
lovely.
part. Giyaguthanda. Tanda sami ngifuna wena pen. Giyaguthanda ye ngithanda wena.
We all know it. Get with it, middle-aged man. We all know it.
I just don't get that.
So that's definitely a song.
Do you know what they call that sort of music? Clip-clop.
Can I ask what...
What are you called?
What was the boy band called?
Yeah.
This is weird because like now I have to translate everything into English.
That's handy.
Well, it would help.
A bit of time.
No, because it was Sparks Boys. So then, but then in English it means Sparks Boys.
Sparks Boy.
Sparks
Yes.
Boys.
I'm no wonder it took so long to translate that.
And what prompted, what
When was
provoked
it?
the horse
Exactly,
to actually
exactly
kick? Why did that happen?
Well, we
Yeah.
don't know. Everyone was standing together, and then you singing. Everyone's facing the camera while you're singing.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, it's just a kick.
Wow.
And then,
But it got 3 band members.
What were the injuries?
well, the one guy, Dumelo, he got kicked the hardest, so
Yeah.
he was really hurt. So I don't know if he fractured his arm or if he broke
Right.
something.
Oh, he was going to IKEA. Sorry, love, I've joined a boy band and I got kicked by a horse. Can't make it today.
What I says, why is it the end of the group? Just one horse accident. It's not like a horse, there was a stampede and you got killed by a load of horses. And they go, and there's just like Gary Barlow's head rolling across a field. And you go, I think that's it. I think there's no more comebacks from this. I mean,
From the horse's point of view, the horse was destined for great things. He'd started to appear in pop videos.
yeah.
It's a disaster any way you
Well,
look
you
at
say
it.
you start getting a reputation for, you know, lashing out in a professional context. It can be the end.
What are you going to say, David?
It's very convincing. I said it's true. I'd go true.
I'm gonna go, yeah, I'm gonna
You think true?
Yeah.
I think it might be true. Let's say true.
You say true? OK, Trevor. Truth or lie?
Lie.
And that noise signals time is up. It's the end of the show. I can reveal that David's team have won by 4 points to 1. But of course, it's not just a team game, and my individual liar of the week this week is Trevor Noah. Yes, it's Trevor Noah. He's dished out more Whoppers than a teenager in Burger King. Good night.
David Mitchell with 4 comedians trying to smuggle the truth past their opponents. Listen to Radio 4's panel show The Unbelievable Truth online. On next on BBC One, an aristocratic beauty accused of murder. Reed can't wait to get started on Ripper Street. Well, over on BBC Two now, Joe Brand serves up an extra slice of Bake Off.